for seniors on this program, we give them what they really want. Polydent. JD here. Good to have you on board. You're 6'3", you're waving that one off, Marcelo? What? Come on. Your 6'3" ATM of Information loaded up, ready to be accessed to PIN 800-876-4123. We always appreciate when you're taking some of your time to spend it with us here on the program. What was I supposed to say if I was to give seniors what they really want? How about a COLA adjustment for their Social Security check? Yeah, now they're paying attention, right? A little bit more in the paycheck. Yeah, whatever. Wish we could do that, but we can't. Marcelo working the dials. Brad producing the program. Emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Poll question up there for you today at the website. The Fed is attempting to reconcile. It's the tale of two Feds' heads. Where are we headed? On one hand, the Fed says the economy is gaining strength, but they're also predicting that if we don't get fiscally responsible, we're headed for total destruction. Not the words of Ben Bernanke. What do you say to that? 13% say you agree with both sentiments. 9% say you disagree with both. And 78% say Thelma and Louise. It was a fun ride until the cliff part. You can answer it there at the website or here at 800-876-4123. It was kind of a fun ride. They were just going to defy the law. They weren't going to get arrested. They were going to go out their own way. And for people who were watching that movie, it was like, woo! Got that car. Was it a Thunderbird with the top down? Yee! Ha, ha, ha! And then whoosh, they went off the cliff. And then they froze the frame. Because the way it ended wasn't good. But that's the image that they're trying to paint, is that the car is still there. I don't know when the movie was made. What was that, back when Brad Pitt first came onto the scene in that one scene-stealing moment that he had in Thelma and Louise where he became an overnight star? What was that, 80? Was that 90s? Was that somewhere? Thelma and Louise, somewhere around there?
Thanks for ruining the ending. I had never seen the movie. Now I guess I don't need to.
Oh, you hadn't seen the movie?
No.
Well,
I didn't know how it ended. I've been trying to keep it secret.
All right, well, what we should probably do is a sequel to that so that we can show the end of the movie when we unfreeze frame the car frozen in midair
91.
As we watch Susan Sarandon and Big Bird herself, Gina Davis. Remember her in that stellar performance that she did in Commander-in-Chief where she was portraying the first female president of the United States? Now Julie Louise-Dreyfus is now starring in a new show called Veep. All the attempts by Hollywood to try and say, you see, a woman can be a president. But then the Veep show is supposedly about some quasi-dysfunctional conservative/Republican Veep. I wonder who they're trying to mock there. But Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon went off the cliff, and then they froze the car in midair. And since that movie was made in whatever year it was,
91.
Apparently it's still hovering there. What year was it?
91.
91. That was the whole thing when Brad Pitt came onto the scene, and everybody was just like, damn, who's that guy? And being completely confident in my heterosexuality, you got to admit, Brad Pitt's a good-looking guy.
He's pretty.
Even though he's dirty? Well, yeah,
pretty.
He had the nickname.
He's pretty.
He's pretty.
Come on, guys. Really?
What? Marcelo, you don't...
You
have to be confident in your heterosexuality to be able to say that Brad Pitt is a good-looking guy. You do. He is. He's a good-looking guy. There's no two ways about it.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper is a good-looking
what
guy.
These guys have in common?
Brad
Pitt,
they have
Brad Cooper.
Oh,
yeah,
and look at you, Brad, with the big brain on Brad. Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go. Apparently, well, you see, you're the exception to the rule, Brad. That's what we should do. We should put up Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, and Brad Silvers. We'll put three of them together, and we can put down separated at birth. Not. Marcelo's still waving me off on this whole thing about. No, you don't agree with the whole thing about Brad Pitt? Even though his nickname in Hollywood, those like I who know, was Bad Pitts, because apparently he was all natural. He was one of those guys that didn't believe in deodorant, and apparently he would manage to, I guess, acquire a certain funkaliciousness over a period of time. But regardless of whether he smells or not, you got to admit that he's a good-looking guy. Now, the Federal Reserve is trying to figure out what it is we're going to be when we hit the end of the movie, Thelma and Louise. Because they're saying, well, if you look at the numbers, unemployment's going to be under 8% by the end of the year. Manufacturing seems to be making a certain move back. Unaccelerated appreciation in the manufacturing sector provided evidence of economic strength. They don't think they're going to have to lower interest rates or keep them moving down any further from where they are today. in an effort to bring unemployment rate down. They think the economy is doing what it needs to do on its own. If inflation drops significantly below 2%, which is the Fed's target, then maybe they would take a look at lowering rates again. Ben Bernanke signaled that further easing is unlikely unless the economy unexpectedly deteriorates. But out of the other side of helicopter Ben Bernanke's mouth, he was addressing members of Congress, and he told Congress that we're much closer to total destruction than you think. Well, what's wrong with the statement? He's assuming Congress thinks. That's the problem that he has with the statement. They're all just sitting there going, well, I wish this guy with the beard, who's a college professor, who probably shouldn't have gotten the job in the first place, who's a history major and a student of the Great Depression, I wish he'd shut up so we could go fundraise, because we got a lot more other important things to do than to listen to Ben Bernanke tell us about total destruction. Because if it is total destruction and it's right around the corner, that would mean that we would have to do something. And we would have to actually stop spending. And once we stop spending, we'd have to reduce the amount of spending. And then we'd have to be fiscally responsible. But then we'd have to have a way to figure out that we could go back to the people who pay us to play and tell them why it was that we didn't give them what it was that they wanted in return for the campaign contributions that they gave us. And that part of the way the game is played. Oh, speaking of playing the game, Michelle Bachmann. Hey, Jerry, it's Michelle, is how she always likes to come on the program here. I like Michelle Bachmann. I think she's just, I say crazy enough to make her interesting, and I say that in an endearing way. I don't think she's nuts. I just think she's a little nutty, and that's always, to me, a little bit attractive. As we say on the program, we like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, and our politics a little messy. But Michelle Bachmann has finally, after 119 days after departing the presidential race, come around and endorsed her former rival, Mitt Romney, in his bid for the presidency, calling him, quote, the last chance we have to keep America from going where? Over a cliff. Now, I did not know that she was going to make those statements before I put the poll question up at the website, but I do like when things come together beautifully. Michelle Bachmann said she was honored to back Mitt Romney, describing him as a man who will preserve the American dream of prosperity and liberty. She joined Mitt Romney at a campaign event in Virginia. She said she was thrilled to introduce our president, and she said, I think for all of us, America, this is a very simple proposition in November. And as she looked out to the crowd, she looked at the governor, she looked at the former governor, and she said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what victory looks like. And they all applauded because she flipped for Mitt, which is a little bit of a flip of what she said January 2nd about the very same guy that today she introduced as the next president of the United States of America.
Mitt Romney, can he beat Obama?
No, he can't beat Obama because his policy is the basis of Obamacare. The signature issue of President Obama is Obamacare. You can't have a candidate who has given the blueprint for Obamacare. It's too identical. It's not going to happen. We have to have a bold, distinct candidate in the likeness of a Ronald Reagan. And of all the candidates in the race, I fit that mold.
And today, he is the last chance, that very same guy, that we have to keep America from going over a cliff. And she's honored to be supporting a man who will preserve the American dream of prosperity and liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, the next president of the United States, Mitt, who I used to hate, but now I love, so I'm politically relevant, Romney. I give you Politics 101. I give you the status quo. You got to love watching this stuff, don't you? I mean, Newt flipping for Mitt, Santorum still trying to figure out a way that he's going to look like he's not flipping for Mitt, but you know he's going to because he wants to be relevant. And all the people who said Mitt wasn't the man now says Mitt is the man. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the next president of the status quo. It's either the re-election of Barack the Socialist Obama or Mitt the status quo Romney.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Oh, speaking of things I'm going to give you, tomorrow we're going to be doing a show live from the Suncoast Casino Resort Hotel. In cooperation with our flagship station here in Las Vegas, KDON 720 AM, we got some stuff we're going to give away. Live show tomorrow, noon to 3, Suncoast Casino. First 60 people get tickets to the Beatles show. I was doing Ed Sullivan there for a second. First 60 people get tickets to the Beatles show at Planet Hollywood. You can register to win for a pair of tickets to Le Rêve at Wynn. You can register to win for a pair of tickets to Phantom of the Opera at the Venetian. Winners are going to be drawn right after the live show. And we'll probably throw up a trivia question tomorrow. And whoever the lucky caller is that gets the question correct, the first one to get it correct, gets a 2-night stay at the Suncoast Casino and dinner for 2 at SC Prime Steakhouse. I've eaten there. It's fabulous. Tomorrow, Suncoast, live, the Jerry Doyle Show, noon to 3. We'll have details about that for you at the website. Lots to get to on the program today. Brian Doherty from Reason Magazine. Stephen Malanga on pension plans that be blowing up in state after state's faces. Tim Griffin, Republican from Arkansas, 2nd Districts. Uncle Sam's unlimited calling plan. Government cell phone giveaways costing you billions. And lots more to get to. 800-876-4123 is the number. I'm Jerry Doyle. Emails at the website jerrydoyle.com. Join me.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.